Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Stephen Mendez. I'm the Now Gen pastor at Momentum Church.
And I am Tyler McNeely.
Okay.
Are we giving socials too, or just first and last names?
You can give yours. List your fears, your home address, your mom's maiden name.
Last four digits of your credit card number. I am Tyler McNeely, and I'm the creative director of Momentum Church.
Do you want to start over?
No, this is fine.
This is good? All right.
Yeah, why would we cut it now?
All right.
After everything else we've left in. We're going, folks.
We want to welcome you
Hey.
to The Current, a podcast about Pastor Tim's current messages and some current events.
It's like 50-50.
It's like 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Been better.
You are not doing good.
Been better.
Yeah, I'm
I've been
concerned.
better. I'm sweating a lot.
Yeah, do you want to tell the people,
Sure.
the 10 or so people that are probably concerned about you?
Well, if 80 watch this,
Maybe 15.
I'm gonna.
No, it's more than 80. I got some updates on the stats.
Nice.
We can share a little bit later.
Nice. I like stats.
It
It's
is-
short for statistics. It's. Yep.
So, man, hey, so you were in the mountains this past weekend.
I was.
You and your bride got
Me and
away.
my bride got away.
And, but you came back, what I was hoping would be like refreshed, Stephen,
Yeah, nope.
is not.
Quite the opposite.
What happened to you?
So, Wednesday, day before I left, I was like, man, I'm going to preach tonight. I'm going to go get a really healthy lunch, like fuel my tank. I was like, I'm not going to get Wendy's. I'm not going to go to Panda.
Made good decisions.
I did. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm going to go get
No, you didn't.
a fresh poke bowl.
Probably shouldn't say where you got it from,
I
right?
won't.
Yeah.
But it definitely came with a side of death.
Definitely came with a side of
Yep.
food poisoning.
So they say it takes about 12 hours for food poisoning to hit. I
Yeah.
had lunch at about 1 p.m. and at 1 a.m. Oh, my body
hit
woke
hard.
up.
Yeah.
It hit. The cool part, though, is waking up at 1 a.m. I knew I was waking up at 5 a.m. to make an 8-hour drive to Tennessee.
That is cool.
It's very cool.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, so got up to the mountains, spent 4 days with food poisoning, but didn't want my wife's vacation to be lackluster, so just suffer in silence, grin and bear it.
Yeah.
We went hiking.
This is when you insert that one trend that's like, no one cares.
No one cares.
No one's coming to save you.
Work harder, man.
The boats aren't coming.
Who's carrying the boats?
You ever seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Where I forget what the trend is, but it's
Yes.
like it's
It's all David Goggins,
No one's
man.
coming. No, it's a woman's voice. It's like no one's coming. It's the most hopeless sounding trend ever.
Well, that was my
But
weekend.
it's good inspiration.
It was my weekend. Very hopeless.
buddy. Sorry,
So
man.
it was sad. It was real sad. The low point was, I'm sure you're familiar. You're a Tennessee person.
Go Vols, baby.
Yeah. So we did a night up to Pigeon Forge and went and saw one of the show dinners.
Yeah.
Went to the Hatfields and the McCoys.
That's fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the history of that show?
Oh, very much.
I'm sure
not
now
the
you
history
are.
of the show, but the history of the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Yes.
I don't know what you're asking.
Isn't it a show?
It is a show.
Yeah.
I don't know the history of the show.
Okay.
I know the history of the history, if that makes sense. I
So-
don't know why it's a show or.
They're based on real people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know all about the real people.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I have nothing to add.
But it was so bad that amid this show with people diving in water and tap
Yeah.
dancers and fire, one of the actors, because we were in the right off the stage, the first two seats, because I paid for VIP seats because I thought it'd be really cool because
Man.
I wasn't dying when I bought them.
Way to splurge.
Yep.
You really picked the things to splurge on.
Look, man.
VIP
so
seats at Hatfield and McCoy's.
it was
What-
$20 extra. Okay. And we got a flag
I feel like
and a
that's
straw hat.
extremely cheap.
and a meet
Upgrade.
and greet with the crew.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Did you do it?
Oh, yeah.
I want to see these pictures of
Oh,
you
yeah.
meeting and greeting the cast of the Hatfield and McCoys.
But here's the thing.
When you bowled over, sick.
Dude, so the show's going on, and one of the cast members comes down and put their hand on my shoulder, and they were like, "It's going to be all right, bud." Because
Aw.
I looked so miserable.
I don't know what's sadder, that or the fact that you paid for VIP seating at the Hatfield. I can't decide.
Bro, it was worth it.
Well, obviously,
We were in the
$20
splash.
extra dollars.
We were in the
what-
splash zone. All right.
Is there a wa-
Yeah,
is
there's
there water?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you knew the history of the Hatfields and the McCoys.
I mean,
Come on,
picture
Tyler.
like Shamu.
There was diving. There were dogs diving in water. That was cool. There was.
This is. No, I'm not from. I was picturing a stage show.
It was a stage show, but then the stage sunk and flooded, and it turned into a giant West Virginia river basin.
That is the production value of that sounds incredible.
It was good. It was a great show. I just
Definitely worth the $20 upgrade.
Oh, 100%, man. If you're going to the Hatfields and the McCoys, pay for VIP. The straw hat, the flag, the meet and greet. It's amazing.
I mean, that is a $40 splurge, so
It's worth it.
It's
worth every penny. And you got to go in a special entrance.
what? They give you a pin to take home?
No.
Oh man.
No.
Did you get autographs?
No.
Just asking.
I'm sorry. I was. Yeah.
Did the diving dog sign something for
Dude,
you?
the dogs were great.
What kind of dog was it?
They look like a golden lab and a black lab. There's two
Okay.
labs, like
Yeah.
water dogs, you know. They're good. They're great.
Sorry, I can't get over the VIP seating.
It's VIP seats, bro. Because have you ever been to any of the shows in Pigeon Forge? Because they have, what do they have? Like Pirates Voyage,
They have the
Hatfields and McCoys, the horse one with
the
all the
medieval
horses.
times, right? Is there?
They have one like that, but it's not called
it's
that.
not medieval times.
Yeah. But yeah, so they have all those shows.
Sorry.
So it's all like stadium seating.
Be cool, Tyler.
And then there's like the floor.
Yeah.
And the floor is like
You were
the,
on the floor.
VIP section, baby.
That's right.
Come on.
Oh gosh, man.
Come on.
Well, buddy, I'm so sorry that you got sick. I hate that.
It was awful.
But what a lesson for all of us to learn. Next time you think about eating healthy, don't do it.
Don't. I should have just
You
gotten
just
a
go
bag
to
nasty.
Wendy's
Yeah.
And
Just
get a
fat.
biggie bag.
Yeah. Yep. I had a really cool interaction in West Virginia.
I love that. In West
Not
Virginia?
West Virginia. I'm sorry. Tennessee. In
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Pigeon Forge?
No. So we're in Townsend.
Okay.
That's where we're staying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know where Townsend is,
Who doesn't? I mean, we all know where it is.
but for everybody else, I'll
well,
let them know.
I know where it is,
Yeah.
but like for the people watching at home, maybe
Like
explain it to
45 minutes west of Gatlinburg
Mm-hmm.
and Pigeon Forge.
Pigeon Forge.
Kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's in the Smokies, Smoky
Yeah.
Mountains.
The Great Smoky Mountains.
Yes.
From the
We.
great state of Tennessee. Go Vols, baby.
I knew Mel wanted to go hiking.
Yeah. That's
So
fun.
I found a pretty solid hiking trail. It was like intermediate or moderate. I think that's how they rate it. Moderate, high. And it was waterfalls. I was like, that's perfect.
Okay.
There's a mile to the waterfall, a mile back from the waterfall. So like a
That's
2
perfect.
mile hike.
That's fantastic.
Pretty nice. Should have taken like 2.5 hours.
Oh,
all
wow.
said and done. So we do it. I'm dying the whole time, but grin and bear it. Get it done.
No one's coming to save you.
No one's coming to save you. So we get to the waterfall.
The
Beautiful.
ships are burnt.
And there's a
holes
group.
in the boats.
There's a group of 20 teenagers and like 2 adults taking pictures at the waterfalls.
Okay.
And I turned to Mel.
locked in.
My first thought is obviously this is a youth group. What other like makeup would be like 20 teenagers of male, female, different
Yeah.
gender, different race, like just a group of 20 teenagers
Did you assume command?
with 2 adults? No.
Because you were like, hey guys, I'm a youth pastor.
Well, this is where it got really cool.
Okay, yeah.
So we're in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee.
They said, hey, we don't have a youth pastor.
No, there was 2 adults.
We need a youth.
Listen.
We need a leader.
So they're taking a picture, and what I would assume is their leader.
They go, Are you our mommy? It's like little baby ducks. Are you? They're just wandering the woods. Help! Yeah. Are you our mom? Sorry.
So they're taking a picture,
Yeah.
and they're trying to
I'm
tell
locked in. I'm sorry.
their leader, like, hey, get in the picture, somebody else will take it.
Yeah.
So the students are like, hey, will you take the picture?
Yeah.
Like gesturing to me and Mel, and I'm like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I walk up, and the guy turns around with the camera and he hands it to me, and he stops and he looks at me and he goes, "You're a youth pastor." I was like, "Yeah."
They smelt it on you.
He goes, "Your name's Steve Mendez." I was like, "Yeah."
Steve goes, at this point, I realized I was wearing my name tag.
I was still wearing my church name tag
was
the
wearing my
whole
church
time. It
name
was very
tag.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
And he goes, "YTH?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Bro, I lead One Student Ministries. I follow you on Instagram. Like, y'all have been doing
Shut
some big
up.
things." He's like, "I've been following you guys for about a year now."
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, "Dude, it was really
What
crazy."
are the odds of that?
So they're a ministry from North Carolina. We're from Pensacola, and we
Yeah.
needed a waterfall in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee.
That is insane.
It was one of those God winks where you're like,
Oh, yeah.
that's incredible." And we were the
Aw.
only people at the waterfall.
Yeah.
It wasn't like big crowds. There was nobody else
Yeah.
there.
Aw.
It was just a cool moment. And I was like, man. And sure enough, I went on Instagram, and One Student Ministries in North Carolina was there. Super cool.
That is
Yeah,
awesome,
very small world type thing.
buddy.
So
That is incredible.
super neat. Yeah.
It made all the sickness worth it.
Nope.
I'd like to think it did.
No.
It did for me anyway. Like hearing your story, I'd put up with all those
The sickness.
all the
get up and
what is
get
it
down.
called? Food poisoning.
With the sickness. Yeah.
I would put up with all the food poisoning just to hear that story. Well, I would put up with you getting food poisoning just to hear that story. So
That makes sense. That's good.
pretty incredible, man.
So that was my weekend.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is exciting.
And then I got back last night in time to lead young-ish adults,
Young-ish adults.
which went very well here.
That's good, man.
Very well.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
How was your weekend?
I got a funny story.
Yeah.
So my wife
My wife.
has this habit of pulling, and she'll wear like my t-shirts and my crew necks all the time because they're obviously oversized and baggy, and because she's itty bitty, she's just a little person, and so it can be frustrating.
Sure. I know the feeling.
When you're like, hey, where's my favorite SpaceX t-shirt? And it's covered in baby throw up in the corner. You're like, oh, cool. Or like a crew neck or something. And so it's been a topic of conversation and like, hey, man, I need to really teach her a lesson. So what I did this morning was I went in and got one of her crew necks. That is not oversized on me. It's one of her oversized crew necks. It's like 3 sizes too big for her, but it is a little tight on your boy. But the funny thing is, I put it on and even look at it. I got here went to use the bathroom earlier, and it says "Mama."
It does.
So if
Tennessee
you're wondering
Bulls Mama.
why I have a T-shirt that says "Mama," this is why, because I really showed her.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah,
I get that tension with my wife too. She likes
Do
to
you?
wear my t-shirts to bed,
yeah,
and I thought we had an understanding, like wear the t-shirts that I don't wear or the older ones, and then she'll put on my like Powerline t-shirt, and I'm like, "What are you doing?
yeah. Like, that's such a good T-shirt.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
Take that off."
yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
So, but yeah, it was a good weekend, man. I'm still
Good for you.
I'm in a weird phase where like the days that are off, I'm like, I find myself like needing and kind of like wanting to like be like, nope, shut it down.
Yep.
Like, man, you've got some time. Don't, because I'm super wired to be productive and
Yep.
to like, if I don't do something, I get kind of, and so I'm learning is like, I've got to figure out how to do that, but also not get upset at myself and frustrated when I actually aren't productive.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
And so, so I'm learning to navigate that. I'm on like week 2 of this little journey, and it's been good.
Good,
So,
man.
well, no, that's not true. It's going to be good once I learn how to navigate those
Tension.
balances of like,
Yeah.
man, hey, it's okay to rest. It's okay to not
Yeah.
feel productive and do something, and not be like, wow, you're a lazy piece of trash,
Yep.
Tyler. And so that's where I'm at now, is I resolve on that feeling of like, hey, you're a lazy piece of trash later in the day. And so I'm learning how to figure that out. So
Checks
anyways, yeah,
Good,
it's pretty
man.
cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a pretty solid weekend.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Sunday was great.
I heard good things.
Oh man, it was awesome. Overall, campuses were up, which was
Yep.
good. And man, 6 people gave their life to Jesus,
That's amazing.
which is cool, you
It's
know. And that's
incredible.
not even including Blackwater. Blackwater didn't get to meet Sunday night. An emergency, a family emergency for the warden or the chaplain.
Yeah.
So thoughts and prayers are going out to him. But yeah, it was good.
Dude, and last Wednesday, we had 150 students.
No way.
150.
I didn't realize that.
150 students.
Buddy, that is crazy.
How crazy is that?
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And the whole time while you're like there, little did you know that this fish was
It was
poisoning
already in
you.
me, slowly.
Yeah, the bacteria was like taking hold
Slowly
and
working.
saying, he
Yeah,
will
yeah.
be ours.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yep.
but man, did you get a chance to watch the message?
I did.
Oh, cool.
I did get a chance. I watched it
Look
yesterday.
at you, man.
Yeah, on the drive home.
So, launched a brand new series. Pastor Tim kicked off a brand new series called Let's Go Fishing. What's the noise? And this was week 1 of that. And so the title was Fish On. If you've not seen it yet,
Yep.
some fun about the podcast.
Yeah.
I had multiple people come up to me on Sunday and say, love the podcast, or have not missed an episode, something along those
Let's
lines.
go. Yeah.
And I was like, thank you so much. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
you enjoying it? And they kept walking.
Oh.
So I'm assuming they just didn't hear my last part. They were
Probably.
super busy.
Yeah.
And we know everyone's enjoying it. But
If they watched every episode.
we've had a huge
Yeah.
uptick
I
of
saw in the
subscribers.
last episode.
Well, no, views are super
Yeah.
up, but also subscribers on YouTube have been in the past like 3 weeks or so. We've strapped a rocket to
I
them.
love it. Love
so
it.
yeah, which is pretty cool.
It's good.
So yeah, Fish On was the message, and it was all about
Fish on.
fishing,
Yep.
going
I guess
fishing.
that's something they say when they're fishing. I wouldn't know.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what he was saying. That's what he described.
Yeah, I think so.
Like when you're on the boat and someone gets a bite, they yell, fish
Someone
on.
yells fish on,
And then they all like help concentrate.
So what happens to the other people on the boat?
So when you're doing
You
like...
just stop what you're doing and you go help the other person?
Yes, because when it's like deep sea fishing for like marlin and stuff,
Yeah.
it's more than a one-person operation.
Okay.
Once you got a
Fish on.
300, 400-pound fish on the line, you help the guy, get him up, strap him into the chair. Like it's a multi-person operation. It's not just like catching a trout. You know, it's a team effort.
It's intense.
Yep. And sometimes they hand it off if it's like a super long fight. Somebody else will take some and then they'll hand it back. So
Oh, gotcha. So someone can rest and stuff.
Yep.
That is interesting.
have you ever seen a captain's chair? Like what they do to reel in those fish?
Yeah.
What that looks like? I've never gone fishing, but I've seen like the chair that they like strap themselves into with like
Yeah.
the footboard.
You know, it would be fun if someone's watching the podcast and they're like, man, we should take them fishing.
I would do it.
We would do it.
I would do it. Yeah.
So yeah,
Fish on.
fish on.
Fish
Pretty
on.
cool. A lot of his points were solid, man. It was really, really good.
Yep.
All of them were.
Yep.
And was anything stand out to you? Anything
Well,
jump out?
It's just the whole idea of the story, because there's nuances that are missed in that story. Like they were already fishing all day.
Yeah.
They were
Yep.
washing their nets. It hadn't been a lucrative day. It wasn't good. These people are career fishermen, and that's the like, you miss the nuance of how powerful Jesus really is in that moment. It's not like they were just Joe Schmo on a boat
Yeah.
going out for a leisurely fish, and they're like, we didn't catch anything, and then an expert walked up and was like, let me show you how this is done.
Yeah.
These are career fishermen. They know what they're doing.
They know how to fish. Yeah.
The water was barren. It wasn't a good day. But when Jesus is in the mix,
Yeah.
now their boat's sinking. There's so many fish.
Yep.
And then the other nuance that I love is it says they catch all these fish, which that's prosperity, right? Enough fish for them to be good for a long time because they sell fish.
Yeah.
They'll be richer men.
Yeah.
And instead they choose to leave everything and follow them.
Yeah.
So they finally get all these riches, what they would have hoped for every day of their fishing career. And instead they choose to leave it on the shore and go.
Yeah.
I love that.
For one of the things I thought was helpful was just the pressure of fishing.
Yes.
For me, it's always one of those things where I think for a lot of people, it's why people don't fish, right? Or why, you need to. I think this is one of those things where when Pastor Tim's talking and he's reading that scripture and talking about those who, in Proverbs, he mentions the scripture, those who win souls are wise. None of us, I don't think anybody listens to that and goes, no, I shouldn't do that. No one pushes back against that. No one's like, no, we shouldn't, reach people for Jesus. I
Right.
shouldn't invite people. Shouldn't share my faith. No one says that. Everyone's pretty much in agreement. Like, no, we should definitely do that. But the challenges are why we don't.
Right.
And so often it's like, man, we got, we know we should do that,
But
the pressure, the enemy will talk you out of things. And for a lot of it, it's the what ifs of what if they don't subscribe to it? What if
Right.
they push back violently? And I say violently just because that's kind of the obnoxiousness of fear. You
Sure.
know what I mean? Of like,
Yeah.
well, they're going to be like, no, not only am I not coming to church with you, I'm never talking to you again.
We're not friends anymore.
We're not friends anymore, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
And,
Utter
that-
rejection.
Yeah. And that, I don't think it's ever happened to me. You know what I mean? I've never had anyone be like, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. Also kick rocks.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to share that story?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to.
No, I can't. I can. It turned out for the positive.
Okay. Well, let's hear it.
I think you know this story deep down.
Probably.
I think you do.
Deep down in your hearts.
Yeah, my sister.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. 5-second cliff notes.
Yeah.
Raised Catholic. Something happened in her life that turned her completely off from the church. Decade plus, she was an atheist. I got on fire, sent her a runner's devo for her birthday. She called me and was like, hey, love you. You're my best friend. You're my little brother. You ever send me something like this again, I'm going to stop talking to you for the rest of my life. And I was like, who? Like, that was that visceral.
Was that because she's not a runner?
No, she was a runner. It was because she wasn't a
She was-
Christian.
She goes, I don't even run. What is he doing? Steven.
But yeah, that was the
good.
complete
Yeah.
fear reaction. Like,
Yeah.
hey, love
Oh,
you.
for sure.
You're my best friend. You're my brother. I'm going to stop talking to you.
Yeah.
But then God redeems everything,
Yeah.
through the loss of a family member and kind of that view of mortality for the first time. She was like, there's got to be more than this. And then we got to have a real deep conversation, and she gave her life to Jesus, and I got
Yeah.
to baptize her, and it all ended in the positive. But there was a season where that was the like, hey, if you even bring it up, I'm gonna cut you out of my life.
But yeah, so I think sometimes the pressure of feeling like it's all on you, right? To either convince them to follow Jesus or convince them to give their life to him. or convince them that God is real, like that pressure is not on us.
Nope.
And I think for me, the hardest part is actually like sitting back and like actually trusting that the Holy Spirit does what he does.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like the pressure's not on me for God to convince people that he's real. The pressure's not on me to convince people that they should follow Jesus and honor him with their decisions and their choices. Like, it's on me to honor God with my life.
That's right.
And it's on me to point people to him.
Yep.
In different opportunities. And, but fishing's different too. There's some fishing that's you're just putting hooks in the water.
Right.
I go to a gas station, I hand an invite card out. I go to a restaurant, be nice to the person who's serving me.
Put an invite card in their hand.
Put an invite card in their hand. That's kind of like just putting lines out. But then there's also those big fish in your life.
Yeah.
Those people in your life that you've done life with a long time, and it's almost like it's a long, I say long game, but that's what you're doing. It's like, no, I'm going to trust that the equity I'm building over time.
That's right.
Will give me the opportunity to speak life in a season in which they need it, because it is a numbers game.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is inevitably the people in your life, it is inevitable that life happens.
Yes.
And when life happens, when the bottom drops out, they look for the people that have been consistently in their life the most for help.
Yeah.
And so that's when you get the opportunity. For me, that's when I've seen the most fruit in my life, where I've led people to Jesus. It's been at funerals.
Yes.
It's been, at hospital rooms when, someone gets in a car accident and they just need answers, and they're ready to receive, they're ready to talk, and you don't have to pry. You don't have to go, you know what, if you just had Jesus in your life, none of this would happen. You get to sit there and just be Jesus and be kind and be love to that moment. And then when you get the opportunity, point them.
Yeah, that was my sister's story, right? It was our grandma. When our grandma was terminally ill, it was that first idea of mortality. And her words, what she said was, I have to believe her body's going to do more than just sit in a hole.
Oh, yeah.
Like, up to this point, I was okay with thinking death is death and like, that's it. But now that it's my grandma, I can't believe that it just ends.
Yeah.
So what else is there?
Yeah.
Like, talk to me, tell me. I'm finally ready to listen. And it was that moment, like you said, in a hospital room or in a funeral, where you're like, I got to believe there's more than this.
Yeah.
So yeah, when the doors, you could spend a lifetime building a bridge, and then you finally have the right to walk over it. Take the right.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you'll know in those moments when it's the right time to say something, to step in, to have that conversation. I mean, the whole, trust that the Holy Spirit will give you wisdom in that moment to do that. But in the meantime, it's, you fish for both, right? It's both. It's the people that you've been in their life for a long time, or you just show up. But it's also the people that you get to just drop cards in their hands.
That's right.
And because you never know, God can move. God moves through both of them.
That's right. Yep.
There are people like your sister, and there's also people that literally drove by because, hey, someone handed me a card at a gas station, and I just showed up and they ended up giving their life to Jesus. And we had I think it was a VIP family on Sunday who were invited. Someone just handed them a card, and their two little girls in the big city gave their life to Jesus.
Let's go.
On Sunday in Navarre, which is incredible. And so that's where, God moves through both of those, man.
Yeah.
What did, how did you feel watching the fish illustration?
Bogley. Watching Bogley.
Little Bogley.
Poor little Bogley.
Yeah.
I got it right away.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where Tim was going with the illustration, but as soon as my focus shifted to the goldfish and I stopped listening to Tim, I was like, oh, that's the point.
Yeah.
And then he brought it back to that, and I was like,
100%.
oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Because he didn't put the fish on the counter and like sit there intently. He put the fish on the counter and kind of walked away.
Yeah.
And for a second, I was like, bro, it'd be really bad if you killed this fish on a live stream. Like, this is one of those things that goes on like pastor talk.
Well, and to be, hey, give an update. Bogley's good.
Bogley's great. I think he has a home now.
Bogley's fine. So Bogley is living his absolute best life.
But it did. I shifted to the fish, and I was immediately like,
everyone did. Everyone
you
did.
better put that in the tank. Like, do not leave that fish on the counter, man.
Start getting phone calls from PETA or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he throws the fish back in the water, and he's like, y'all cared more about that fish than you have some people in your life. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yep.
What if, the twist in that whole thing is, man, what if I had that same tension?
Yeah.
That same tension of everyone leans in that moment. And what if we had that same tension for the people in our life that are, hurting, dying on their way to hell?
That's right.
If you believe hell is real, man, wouldn't that cause you to action?
Where's the expediency?
Yeah.
Yep.
What is it? I think it's Penn Jillette. There's an interview with Penn Jillette, Penn and Teller fame, where Penn is a
magician.
He's a magician. He's not a musician. He's a magician, and he is a devout atheist. He's a devout atheist. It's not funny.
That's
Steve.
A deep track. No,
It's
that
not
was
funny,
good.
Steve.
That was
joking.
funny. That was funny.
He's a devout atheist, and he's being interviewed and talking about his lack of faith. And he goes, man, I have so much respect for people that actually do share their faith. And
That's
he
right.
uses a different word. I forget the word. It was like evangelize. It was evangelize, but there's another word for it. I forget what it is. But essentially, it meant like sharing your faith. He goes, I have so much respect for people that actually share your faith, because think about it. If you actually believe that hell was real, and if you actually believed that, that we all die.
Yep.
And if you actually believe that what happens, that what we believe about God when we die determines whether or not we go to heaven or hell, and scripture backs all that up. He goes, how much this is a sentence that sucks. He said, how much do you have to hate your friends to not tell them about Jesus?
That's right.
And I just thought, as soon as I heard that, it changed everything for me.
Yeah.
I go, man, how much do I have to genuinely hate my friends
To not want them
not want that for them,
Yeah.
or to be content with them spending eternity in hell when they take their last breath? And so that's what going fishing's all about.
Yep. And we all have friends in that category, man.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
sure you have friends you're burdened for. I have friends I'm burdened for.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's hard because if they've been in your life long enough, you've brought it up more than once. You've said it more than once. You've probably already hit the brick wall more than once.
For sure.
And now you're like, well, I don't know when the next opportunity is.
Yeah.
And you know that they're sitting on the wayside. You know that they're on the benches. They're not in the game. And you're like, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
When's the next time?
Yeah.
When's the next time? And one of the hardest things is if you do it too much, you lose the right to speak to them at all.
It's true. Yeah.
So you got to pick your battles, but at the same time, there's expediency because you're like,
for sure. You never know when.
You never know when it's coming. So yeah, it's a real tension on your heart, man, when it's people you care about. So.
Yeah. Man, so if you missed the message, go back and watch it. This has been a little bit of a deep dive. Whiz. How, anything else about the message, man?
No, I loved it.
Week?
Thought it was great.
Yeah.
Thought it was super, super good. It's a story a lot of people know. It's a great take on that story. It's a story that's in all the synoptic gospels.
Yep.
I love that he picked the one gospel that breaks out, talks about how it's the second time Jesus comes, how he didn't just show up and say, follow me. And they were like, cool.
Yeah.
How even Jesus had to build that equity with them a little bit. I love that take on it.
It's so true.
And then, I think he's setting up a great series.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where this goes. So.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Man, great message.
Yep.
What's coming up this week, man?
This week, not
For
much.
you.
Not much. So
Back
it's a
into
leader
the swing?
week. It's a leader week.
Okay.
Because we have middle school YTH.
Because middle
this
school's
week.
Thursday night.
Middle school meeting on Thursday. Once a month, our middle schoolers meet
Yep.
right now. We're going to make that, closer and closer together as we can. It used to be once a quarter. Now it's once a month.
There we go.
So
That's
we're
awesome.
climbing in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
But no high school this week. It's a leader week. So it's a chance for me to catch up on some menial, less than fun work like receipts. Got to get that done.
Man,
Receipts.
cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, buddy, I'm super excited about this week. I'm excited about everything coming up.
Yeah.
Excited about this Sunday. And, man, yeah, I'm pumped. Anything on the horizon, movies-wise or TV-wise? Did you finish the Oh, I do have a bone to pick with you.
What's about?
Oh, boy. You buckle up, okay?
What
Because it's
happened?
about to
What'd
get
I do?
rough.
What'd I do?
Because Ruffosaurus Rex just broke into this room.
Tell me.
I'm really upset at you.
About?
Genuinely.
About?
And this is completely sincere, and I thought the most appropriate place to bring this up would be now on the podcast. Because last week,
probably true.
Last week's episode, I asked you a question.
Yeah.
And you lied to me.
About what?
You straight up lied to my face.
Feel like I didn't, but
You did.
I want to see where this is going.
Yeah. Because I asked you.
Yeah.
Because we brought up the challenge. We brought up Traders. And remember the
If
challenge.
every single season was on Paramount.
And I asked you. I
That's
said,
fair.
I would love to go back and watch
Yeah.
the Road Rules, Real World Road Rules Challenge
Yeah.
from 98.
Yeah.
Back from when I was just a wee little boy. watching stuff like that.
I'm guessing it doesn't go all the way back.
You told me.
I'll take that.
In no explicit terms, you said it's all on there. It's all on Paramount.
How many seasons are on Paramount?
Go on Paramount. Like 2.
No.
Bro.
Only 2 seasons?
Only 2 seasons.
Really?
And it's like the most 2 recent ones.
Oh,
so
I didn't
you
know.
can imagine my disappointment.
Yeah.
When
There's
I
somewhere.
go on there and I cannot watch.
Let me get you an answer right now. Because there's somewhere with all the older ones.
I don't understand why there's not.
There is.
And even like, remember True Life?
Oh, yeah.
So that's not on there either. Well, only like 2 seasons of that.
Yeah.
Why would MTV's catalog of footage, and I've got a theory, and I'll share it in a second, but MTV's catalog of footage, why would you not like have somewhere where all of that content is available? Because it's so much content, and it's such a wonderful study of culture in the 90s too. It really is fascinating to me. My theory is, I'm going to share this with people.
See, I'm going to have to challenge you, though.
Really?
Yeah.
You found it on Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus says it's the streaming home of MTV. All seasons of the challenge are available to stream on demand at any time.
Look it up, bro.
No, I believe you.
Look it up.
I'm just telling you what Paramount
my theory
says.
is there's a lot of, as wokeness, roars its head. A lot of the, what's the right word? It's not politically correct.
Yeah.
A lot of the content that probably happened,
things that used to be okay probably aren't okay
words
anymore.
that used to be, acceptable. So I imagine that's probably why.
Yeah.
But why would they not just put a briefing before the show saying, "Hey, this was the times, things were crazy"?
It's true. Well, season 10's on there.
Well, is season 1 on there?
Back in 2005.
Okay, we're getting closer.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong,
I
will eat so much crow right now.
It might be a little column A, a little column B, because season 1 also.
No, it's either there or it's not.
No, I mean there might be some older ones, but not the oldest one. Season 1, also thinking back, the production value was probably because it was such a low budget, low quality show.
Yeah.
Also, the OG host is no longer alive, so there might be some issues with that.
Who died?
Dave Mirra.
Dave Mirra died?
Yeah, he was the original host of the challenge.
He didn't die.
Yeah, man.
Is this bad?
Yeah.
Dave Mirra from BMX?
Yeah,
Dave Mirra?
yeah. TJ Lavin was not the original host of the challenge.
No, I understand that. I need to look up. Is it podcast friendly?
Podcast lore.
Is it podcast friendly to look up? You go.
I know what happened to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the internet doesn't?
No, the internet knows
Okay.
what I'm saying. I don't know if it's podcast friendly.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if that's a thing because of the original host and the way that
Gotcha.
his life ended. If they can't air
Possible.
those couple seasons that he
That
was the
makes
host
sense.
of.
Well,
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah. Pigeon Forge.
Yes.
Going back to Pigeon Forge for a second. Did you go visit the micro brawlers?
Is that the little wrestlers?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Bro, they are my favorite follow on TikTok or Instagram or something.
Okay.
But they also have a TV show on what's the one? Discovery.
About the mini wrestlers?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Bro, it's amazing.
I love that.
I love it so much. And so I was just wondering if you went, because I do plan to go.
So Pigeon Forge.
Because their home base is
I actually
Pigeon
want to
Forge.
talk to you about Pigeon Forge, man.
What do you want to say?
So last time I went to Tennessee was in 2017.
Go Vols, baby.
And last time I went to this part of Tennessee was in 2017, and we went to Gatlinburg for a day.
Yeah, which Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge are A and B.
Could not disagree with that statement more. And that's
They're
exactly
right
what I
next
want to
to
talk
each other.
about. Yes, okay. Proximity-wise, they're very
Yes,
close.
You can't go to one without going to the other.
Gatlinburg, incredible. I
Yeah.
loved it. Mel and I parked the car.
Yeah.
It was foot traffic, walked everywhere.
Highway 41 goes through the mountains.
Yes.
And it goes down through Pigeon Forge, and there's mountains on both sides of Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg.
Sure.
It's true.
So Gatlinburg, incredible.
I think it's Highway 41.
Loved it.
Yeah.
So this time we
Maybe
were like, hey,
441.
let's try something different. We're going to go to Pigeon Forge.
Okay.
Pigeon Forge cannot be described as anything other than an absolute fever dream of a town.
It is the
It makes no sense.
it's the Reno, or it's like a Reno, Nevada.
It makes no sense.
No, Atlantic City
Atlantic City, New Jersey.
is how you would describe, probably is.
I think that
That's how I would describe Pigeon
Pigeon
Forge.
Forge makes Atlantic City look like Las Vegas. Pigeon
Yes.
Forge is in shambles. It is like
If you're watching from Pigeon Forge,
well, I'm so confused because there's
support
no
it.
single like trope or theme.
yeah.
It's like over here is like pink and yellow funhouse, looks like a carnival, and then you have like a deep south themed something over here, and then there's a life-size Titanic over here, and then there's a castle
That's the Ripley's Museum.
over here, and
Right.
it's not.
The Titanic?
It's the Titanic Museum.
Oh.
It's the world's largest
Ripley's
Titanic
is
museum.
like the upside down house.
Not anymore. Now that's what works or something works. It used to be. It's not Ripley's anymore. It's something else.
Wow.
But the whole place, like, there's no theme. You just feel like you're in and out of different fever dreams the whole time, and none of it makes sense. And 50% of it's under construction,
Okay.
which just adds to the like.
Well, so the chaos.
It is wild.
Well, maybe like the phase that's coming for Pigeon Forge is going to be
Maybe.
incredible, and you just came a little early.
Maybe.
Maybe you just need to pardon their pixie dust.
But it doesn't seem like a walking town. That's why I liked Gatlinburg. Is like you
Yeah.
could park your car and just walk to everything. Like it was all
Gatlinburg
walking.
has the largest glass bridge, right?
That I don't know. But I really enjoyed
sure.
Gatlinburg.
That's awesome, man.
Really
Sweet
enjoyed
town.
it. Yeah, super
Yeah.
cool town.
We every time we go to Knoxville, we'll typically drive through. It's like a 3-hour excursion out of the way, but I think it's Highway 441 that we can take, and it'll take you through the Smokies before and after, and then it goes
Yeah.
through Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge.
Nice.
And it's crazy how crowded it is.
Yeah.
I'll say that. We usually go every like November-ish, October, November, that area when football season's in. Go Vols, baby. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yep. Go to
Well, I'm
Townsend.
glad you had a great time.
Go to Townsend.
Townsend.
Townsend. Yes, that's how it's spelled.
Nice.
Townsend. Yes.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think if anything newsworthy,
No.
but yeah, nothing big this week.
No.
Yeah.
No. Watched a little bit more of the Traders.
Has that ended yet?
Nope. Not yet.
Still.
I think it's
Is
got
our boy
a
CT
couple-
still in there?
Still on it, man.
Let's go, CT.
The host called him Castle Daddy because he just won't die because he just stays chugging along.
Castle Daddy.
Castle Daddy. CT's
cool.
the man. My boy CT.
Yeah.
Yep. So Traders, that's my current like guilty reality TV show pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Great show.
That was a great show.
Great show. Big fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marvel's got one movie coming out this year, and hopefully it should reset some stuff. And
It's good.
if you follow the Marvel stuff,
I don't. I followed it up through like all of the Avengers movies, and then I kind of fell off after the last Avengers movie.
the multiverse saga has been extremely confusing, disappointing, unenthusiastic. Not my cup of tea.
So I know what the multiverse is.
Yeah.
But for our viewers at home, if you could explain.
So the multiverse saga is what's
Yeah.
happening now.
Okay.
There was the Infinity Saga,
which was
the Stones.
Knew that. That
Okay.
one I had. Got that
and
one.
then things shifted with the multiverse.
Okay.
So now it's like, but there's not. So here's why the Infinity story works so well. You had one coherent story
Yes.
that went through all out. It was like, hey, these rocks are super powerful.
Yep.
Like, here's where they are. And then towards the end of it, you started putting pieces together of like, oh, they're actually someone's trying to get each stone to do something bad.
Right.
And which of course created your narrative of, your protagonist, your antagonist. Whereas in the multiverse, there's not been that cohesive story.
Got you.
And on top of that, there was a crap more ton of content that was put out. So like the number of TV shows spiked.
Yeah.
And none of it was this cohesive story. They're introducing characters that don't play into this bigger overarching story.
Because it's multiple universes, multiple storylines.
Couldn't tell you, man. I
multiple-
literally I lost interest. I lost interest after No Way Home,
So this is the really interesting
which
thing
was the
about
Spider-Man one, where all three of them were back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the interesting thing about the Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm.
I had a officer in charge on one of my first deployments,
Did he
Cristobal Yera.
Did he have an Infinity Stone?
He wishes.
Okay.
So Cristobal Yera, Lieutenant
Yeah.
Commander Yera. In 2014, where was the Infinity Stone movie timeline?
What was 14? That had to have been. I mean, that's probably right. Building up to one of the
Now,
Avengers. I don't know.
I can tell you the word Infinity Stone had never been said in a movie yet.
Okay. But they probably had introduced. Let me actually look at that up because
They
that's
had-
interesting.
Yeah. So on this deployment, we're in the Middle East, 9 months, nothing to do. This guy sits us down and starts brain wrecking us about Infinity Stones and where this whole Marvel storyline was going and what
Okay.
these Infinity Stones were.
So this was right before the Winter Soldier. 2014 would have been Winter Soldier. Would have been right before Iron Man 3, which that's probably So they were building,
right.
but they were still an overarching story. If you
Yes.
notice, of like the end of.
But
the
he was a
Avengers
comic
or-
book guy. He wasn't
Okay.
just a movie guy.
Yeah.
So he sat us down and like read us the riot act about like, guys, you don't understand what they're doing.
The Infinity Saga.
Yeah. He was like, they're building to this thing. There's this guy, his name is Thanos, and he's trying to get these things called Infinity
Pronounced
Stones. Thanos. I knew that. That was a test. You passed.
Yeah, thanks.
But he laid the whole thing out.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there being like, dude, there's no way
Yeah.
that all of, because at this point
This
it
is
was
going
like,
to pull together.
for
That's
me,
why it
very
was-
separate movies
Oh, yeah.
that had nothing to do with each other.
Typically, it was the after credit scene.
Yes.
would play into that.
That would pull things
but there would
together, yep.
still be supporting narratives throughout the entire thing. That's why it was such a remarkable feat when like Avengers Infinity War came out, because it really brought that story together, and like for 10 years worth of storytelling to pay that off the way they did was so remarkable.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving the theater watching Infinity War, like just super deflated, because you probably seen Infinity War. That's where they all, not all of them turn to dust, but quite a few of them do.
I am
Yeah.
inevitable.
Yeah. And so you just left like that.
It's good.
That
Yeah.
kind of storytelling today, where you can leave a theater feeling like hopeless,
Yeah.
man, was such a brilliant,
Yep.
trope, and I really enjoyed it. And then of course Endgame, they pay it off, and it's just
Yes.
this marvelous thing.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
pun
yeah.
intended. But yeah, what they're doing now is just pretty crazy.
You and I went and
Not
saw a Marvel movie together that changed our whole mindset, though.
It was
Eternals.
Eternals.
Because the question is, was
Yeah.
Thanos really a bad guy?
And he wasn't. That's what we learned.
Right?
Because the idea that once a
Once
planet
a planet
gets overpopulated,
overpopulates
these giant guys come up out of the earth,
and destroy it,
destroy it because we're overpopulated.
we're overpopulated.
So, which is interesting. 'Cause-
So him,
yeah.
as an Eternal,
uh-huh.
was trying to protect the planet
Yeah,
from itself.
From itself. So he was taking all half of the planet away. Wow.
Crazy.
It is crazy. So
Crazy.
I'm hoping that, so now they're they're in the multiverse saga.
Yes.
I'm hoping that it's ending soon.
Yeah.
And then because what's next is they call it the mutant saga, which is of course the introduction of X-Men, Fantastic Four.
Now I'm excited about Wolverine in an actual Wolverine
Yes.
outfit, like the
Yes.
yellow,
The Deadpool trailer. Yeah.
legit Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm
not
very excited.
Whatever they've been doing for the last 20 years.
You know what's funny is in the very first X-Men movie, there's a line in there where they go,
Would you rather be wearing yellow spandex?
Yes,
Yeah, I do remember
that's
that.
the line.
Yeah.
and like in hindsight, you go, yeah,
Yeah, I
I would
do.
rather you be doing that
I do want that.
instead of these Fox movies where they put out, all
Black
wearing
leather.
black leather,
Yeah.
jumpsuits, and they're all wearing that same thing for,
I do remember that.
yeah, crazy. Anyways, so that's coming up. Hopefully that's going to be a good reset, and
Yeah.
we'll see, but stay tuned, folks.
Stay tuned.
Anything else before we sign off, man?
No, man. I think this podcast was the cure.
Are you feeling better?
Feeling a little better.
Man.
I'm going to try to eat some food after this. We'll see what
Do you want to
happens.
go get some poke bowls?
Kind of.
No, you don't.
Kind of. Dude, I'm not going to stop eating it.
You need to.
It's an innate risk when you eat raw fish that like you might get sick.
So-
if once every 10 years I get sick, I'm not going to stop eating raw fish.
I'm just saying that's not.
Have you ever had food poisoning?
Yeah.
What'd you eat?
So one time you hear a story.
I just want to know what food it was.
Well, no, can I tell you a story of food poisoning?
I
one
don't
time?
want the story. I want the food.
Oh no, I really want to tell you the
Okay,
story.
tell me the story.
Okay, because it's good. So, anyways, one time I was in. I used to play basketball. Do you know this?
You
Yeah.
played basketball?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No.
Super high level.
No way.
Seriously. Yeah.
What level?
I mean, some of the highest levels in the country.
Like G League? Euro League?
I don't want to get into it right now, but listen. So I was playing high level basketball, and it was the playoffs.
AAU U14.
It was the playoffs, and the night before I was in a rival city, and a pizza got delivered to my hotel room.
I'm sorry, did you say a rival city?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big rivalry game.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was the playoffs, game 6, I think.
Yeah.
And so I'm in my hotel room, and they get a pizza delivered,
Okay.
and my security checked it, looked at it, thought it was fine.
This is
Anything of it?
This is the Michael
So
Jordan
then-
story.
No, it's different. It's different.
Michael
It's
Jordan
different
story,
than that.
Food poisoning.
So I get the pizza, and I literally got violently ill the night before, the whole day, man, the whole day of the game. It was a primetime game, so it was I think 7:00 Eastern.
Yeah. Did you play for the Bulls?
I did, in fact, yeah. And and so literally, man, went on the court, and everyone's looking at me saying, "Man,
He's got the flu.
he's got the flu."
Okay, you got the flu, man.
And but I didn't. And what's funny is
good.
I've never shared the truth about that moment until right now.
So have you ever had food poisoning, Tyler?
Huh?
Have you ever had food poisoning?
I just told you.
Name another time you've had food poisoning.
I'm sure over the years. I couldn't give you a specific time.
And you can't think of a food, so you haven't given any foods up. That's my point.
That's not true. I do have a story about that too.
Okay.
So anyway, so I was playing basketball at a really high level. I was joking. I was joking. No. I had a bad quesadilla from Taco Bell one time, like in the 6th grade.
I have watched you eat a quesadilla in the last 6 months from Taco Bell.
First of all, I didn't know we were putting each other on blast.
I'm
like
just
this.
saying,
Like,
my point stands. Just because a food gives you food poisoning, you
listen,
don't give
you
it
didn't let me
up.
finish the story. This was like 6th grade.
Okay.
And I did give it up for like a year. Like it was probably 2 years I did not eat Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Because I literally ate it, threw up violently
Yeah.
for like 4 hours, and I can tell you the color of the bathroom. I can tell you that's how much it impacted me,
Yeah.
sincerely. And I did not eat Taco Bell for 2 years.
But you eat it now.
Yeah.
You got to get back on that horse, man.
You got to get back on that horse.
It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. It's Rocky. That was my Rocky impression.
I've never seen it.
Never seen Rocky?
Nope.
That makes sense. That checks out. Those of us from the Northeast, we know better.
You're from the Northeast, John? Yeah. You never talk about it. That's weird.
It's from
What part
Amish,
of the Northeast?
Amish country, baby.
Are you from the Northeast?
I am.
You never talk about
I
it.
try not to.
That's weird, man.
Yeah.
Gosh, here's the truth, and I mean this with all respect. If I was from the Northeast, I would talk about it all the time. It'd be in my entire personality. It'd be that and rugby.
I got a bone
would
to
be
pick
my
with you.
entire personality. That's true.
Yeah, we're not from New England. There's a difference. Blech. Got a bone to pick with you.
What's that?
My lovely mother, who's from the Northeast. Donna. A bunch of people from this church did a really nice thing and helped move her and my father into their new house, right?
I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there.
And she offered out of the kindness of her heart to host an Italian dinner for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And
I'm so excited.
are you? Is
Yeah,
that
I
why
am.
you're the only person that didn't RSVP? Is because you're so excited, Tyler?
Well, no.
Is that
So
how excited are you?
there's a chance I'm going to be out of town. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to poo-poo on everyone's
Well,
party.
everyone else is going,
I
so
know.
we don't care.
I know, and that
Tyler.
I didn't want to be the hang up. So I'm waiting to find out if we're going out of town, and I'm really part of me. Yeah, I'm trying to decide to prioritize that dinner over this trip, and I want you to know it is a very. I'm glad you brought it up because
Yeah.
this is the time to process it.
Yeah.
It is a very hard, difficult thought process decisions to make.
If you leave town, I'm inviting Frankie in your place.
you wouldn't dare.
He's man number 12.
You do know his favorite
he'll be the
Italian
13th man.
restaurant
Is
is Olive Garden.
It's so gross. Stop.
That's what he says, not me. I agree. That's not my
I'm
favorite.
going to show him this clip.
Show him the clip.
I'm going to show him this clip.
Oh, he should watch the podcast.
He should watch You should, Frankie.
So
watch the
but
podcast.
yeah, his favorite Italian restaurant is the Olive Garden. He'll tell you about it.
It's not true.
It is.
not
He says his favorite Italian dish is unlimited salads and breadsticks. That's Frankie's favorite Italian food. What's the Italian word for that? Unlimited. Unlimitado. Breadsticks and. How do you say breadsticks in Italy?
I don't know, man.
Sicilian. What's the word?
It's Sicilian.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
I'm asking. You should know.
Yeah, I should.
But
I
you don't.
I know how to say a lot of not appropriate words. I can't say breadsticks.
Oh, man. We should.
You should call it. Call it.
How long do you think it's been? Let's take a guess right now.
45 to 50 minutes.
Because last week you said 35 and it was like 55.
I actually looked at the clock this time.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to say 56 minutes.
Well, we did the 3-minute reel first.
44 minutes.
Okay. How long we been?
Audio's been recording for 52.
Is
Is
that
that-
total?
No, that's just for...
That's just this podcast.
Okay, there you go.
So 53. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
But we have to cut some of it out, remember?
Cut that.
So
Cut
yeah.
that. Cut that.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Glad you've enjoyed the podcast. Which, if you have enjoyed the podcast, please rate us. Leave us a review on everywhere you can find your podcast. So Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play Store,
The Play Store.
and then also where else? YouTube.
YouTube.
So if you like watching stuff
yeah.
with your audio,
Yeah.
YouTube's your place. Subscribe to that, and then also leave us a review, like the video, leave
That's
a
right.
comment. If there's some certain topics or questions you have about the message, drop them in the comments, and we'll read them next week.
And if you're listening to this on one of our podcast platforms, know that it is not the current podcast on YouTube. It is the Momentum Church YouTube page.
On YouTube, that's correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Where this podcast lives.
Yep.
So it's the current podcast on all podcast platforms, but it is on the Momentum Church page on YouTube. If you're
we
looking
did our
for it.
best to make it as confusing as
Yeah,
possible.
we don't want to be
guys.
easy to find.
Yeah.
We want this to be very hard for you to find.
It's like a scavenger. It's like geocaching.
It's Easter eggs.
It's geocaching for the soul.
Before we send off, if you haven't seen this movie, you need to see it. I watched it
What
in
movie?
the cabin because I was sick, so Mel and I had a lot of
Cabin in
time.
the
just,
Woods?
Like, yeah, we had a cabin in the woods. Also a great movie.
Great movie.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Ready Player One. I think Connor really
Connor
likes
got
it.
real excited about that movie.
Blew me away.
I tried to watch it and I lost interest.
I thought it was so good.
I remember when it first came out.
Then you'll hate the first section.
I can't read, Connor.
No, you can't read.
This off-camera commentary is killing me.
I can't read.
Let
I'm blind.
me save you some trouble. I don't know.
You ever seen that Anchorman 2?
Anchorman
like-
2, of course.
He's like, I'm blind.
But yeah,
Can't
man.
you see I'm blind?
Ready Player One.
It's good, huh?
It was impressive.
So Spielberg produced it. I don't think
did.
he directed it,
He
but
did.
he produced
Yeah.
it.
Super
Yeah.
crazy idea. Like just the whole idea behind it and the
The Avatar and like
Yeah.
living online. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure it's good. I
Yep.
remember watching the first little bit and I just kind of lost interest. So
Yeah.
but I will if you agree.
It was really good.
Yeah, I'll go
I
back and
enjoyed
watch
it
it.
thoroughly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
So my assignment, just to recap, I will go and watch Ready Player One.
Yep.
You are to watch the entire season of Micro Brawlers on Discovery.
Micro Brawlers.
Mm-hmm.
I got to finish Louder Milk. I'm watching Louder Milk right now.
Okay. Yeah, whatever, man.
Then I'll
Well,
watch
guys,
that. Yeah.
have a great week. We will sign off, and we'll see you next week. Same podcast, same
Time.
bat channel,
Same podcast
same
time.
bat time.
That's right. Cheers. Love you guys. See you.